Thank you, Butter. So your marriage might be over, but divorce is not possible because it is too expensive, or you might lose everything that you have. Do you stay in limbo and move on although you are still married legally? Or how do you deal with this? It's a tricky situation. We're talking about this morning and discussing it with you. 0839133728 if you want to give us a call. Our resident relationship expert is with us in our studio this morning, Dr. Eve, better known as Dr. Wasserman.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning and helping to sort this out. But first, we moved our way and our cameras to the streets, and we basically asked the question, is it okay to start over, to begin again while you are still married?
Move out before divorce. No, it's not okay. Just work it out and see where it's going. Maybe you can still work it out and then get on with your lives before you move out. It's not good.
To move out and start out a new relationship if you're still married is not the right thing to do. You won't be able to know where you are standing on your marriage.
It's better to fix it who doesn't move out.
No, fix things. It's okay like that.
I think it's okay to move out if you're still married if you have like your own reasons, like valid reasons.
Sure. So we're asking that question today. Is it okay to move on while you are still married? Doctor, I almost want to recap and say, okay, so there's all those reasons why someone would want to get divorced, but why stay separated and not divorce?
Well, I just want to start off by saying that many people, unfortunately, move on while they're still married through cheating. So here, this is a more ethical situation where there is agreement between both people that the marriage is over. And what does that mean? They really have to talk about what that means before they break oaths and break vows with each other, because that feels way worse than actually agreeing together. The marriage is over, so what are we going to do? We can't get divorced. Many people live in situations where they know they're desperately unhappy, or they know that emotionally they've detached from each other, but choose because of practical reasons, or maybe because of children, that we're going to live together. But they're still adults, and they still are sexual people, and they're still people who want to be engaging.
Is it normal? Is it okay to still move on as if you're single again?
If there is agreement, I think that there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The problem is that psychologically and emotionally, it's very difficult to do. We do have a difference between being married and cohabiting and just being engaged or just being committed. There is this sacredness around marriage, and people feel very attached to that. So it can be very difficult for them to feel we're married, but does it give me permission, even though you and I have agreement that I can, to actually go and do it? Because society sees it differently, and maybe your children are going to be seeing it differently too. It's very different if you are married and then still dating, and if you are divorced and then you're dating.
So I just want to say this morning, in case we get it on our phone lines. We're not advocating divorce here, and we're talking about when you are in a relationship and you feel like you want to move on, but you are still married. So, Doctor, again, I want to get to this. Psychologically, there must be a whole lot of implications. I mean, being married legally and then moving on, psychologically, what does this mean for all of us?
It means that you just really have to make some decisions, and I say again, with your partner. If you're going to do it independently, which a lot of people do, it becomes very tense at home because you emotionally detach, and then there is this conflictual situation, or there's just a silence in this house, which is very uncomfortable. But we have to look at the practical side of it. A lot of people choose to do that because they don't have another option. And they feel, and let me rephrase that, Ilana, they feel as if they don't have another option. They feel divorce is too expensive. They worry about the money. They worry about the children. And that's often to the detriment of people because of abusive situations. If they're caught in an abusive marriage, that will be the justification for staying as well. You know, I have to stay married because of the children, because of finances. But there are things that one can do to get out of a marriage while you're still married, like skilling yourself up, like becoming more financially independent, like being able to get a job of some kind so you can ease your way out of a difficult situation.
Well, we're talking about that difficult situation this morning. Relationships, if it's not going the way it's supposed to, you were married and you're wanting to know whether it's still, or you are still able to move on as if you're single. 0839133728. We're talking about, well, our lives this morning. Stay with us. Well, here's Gray.